World Cup predictions time here with Breton, man. I'm excited because this is day of the U.S. game, and we're taping before the first game of the knockout stages, people. So these are our real predictions of what's going to happen, man. How are you, Breton?
I'm nervous. I'm cautiously optimistic. Louis van Gaal has been showering the U.S. men's national team, Greg Berhalter in particular, with a whole lot of praise because he's playing mind games. Now, here's what I'm ready for. I am ready for a fun USA-Netherlands game. And I honestly believe the Netherlands are a whole lot better than they've shown. And what they've shown so far in Group A is that they know how to get out of the group and do it relatively kind of dominantly. So if that's not their best, hopefully we're going to force them to bring their best. And I think on our best day, we definitely have a shot. Like, we have a really good chance. We match up well with the Netherlands, but the Netherlands does have better star power, in my opinion. So I'm excited.
In terms of defense, Virgil van Dijk, De Ligt, the Netherlands are very ready. But who will be the attacker that you think will shine against the Netherlands?
It depends on what Berhalter does with the 9. Because Josh Sargent is day-to-day. Christian Pulisic will play, even though his hip contusion. Yeah, I mean, we'll see if he's going to be in the 11, but he was cleared to play. He's medically cleared to play, and now it's whether or not he could go from the get-go. So. For us, it's going to come down to whether or not Timmy Weah on the right, whether or not Gio Reyna plays a role in this game, because he's like the Phil Foden of the USMNT. He did not get his except he didn't get his chance in the third game either, like Foden did. So I'm gonna say Timmy Weah has got to be our difference maker. It's got to be him. Yeah,
he's gonna score the goal. Absolutely. So.
Yeah, well, I'm just excited because this game. This is different than in 2014 when USA faced Belgium at the incredibly beginning stages of guys going to Europe and making tiny little bits of impact. Now we're facing, the Dutch. Now we're facing not the Belgians then, but now we're facing the Dutch. And a lot of these guys, Pulisic has played with a lot of these guys, right? Timothy Weah has played with these guys. Everybody has played in Europe for some extended period of time. So this is a very different kind of playing field to be on, even if we are a young team. And the Dutch are tough. The Dutch are tough. And man, whether it's the Dutch or the U.S., Argentina is probably going to be looking. I don't know. They're going to be looking at the next round as not exactly a cakewalk.
I think Argentina looks at it and they think we're going to go through either way. U.S. or the Netherlands. I really think Argentina are looking that way to the knockout stages, man. And I'll be honest, my personal opinion on U.S. Netherlands, it's a win already for the U.S. to be out of the group stages. Ahead of Wales, ahead of Iran. Tough matchups. And U.S. has the youngest team in this World Cup. So you guys are preparing for the next 4 years. And the youngest captain too with Tyler Adams. So I think it's a really good vibe. And I do believe there's a real chance to beat the Netherlands. I really do.
All right.
Argentina, okay. That's where you lose me, man. Because, I think Messi, I think Poland is like no chance. No chance. Lewandowski, it's not going to happen. I really don't believe it.
Yeah. I am cautiously optimistic that if you can get our guys on the field, I mean, it's the same with the Dutch. Argentina is beatable, and they've shown that, but they're growing into their game. They've changed tactically throughout the tournament. They've obviously added more newfangled personnel that have made massive, massive differences. Excuse me, coughing. And now it's whether or not there's weaknesses. Are there weaknesses with Enzo on the pitch, with McAllister on the pitch? I mean, and it's kind of tough to see that as it stands, and maybe, I don't know.
The weakness is not putting them.
The weakness was not putting them. And Scaloni being a younger coach, this isn't Fernando Santos. Scaloni being a younger coach, he actually has time to tinker. And he has time to kind of make these adjustments, and he has the personnel to do it with. So it's going to be really interesting. I just wish now. I hope Australia can give them as stiff of a test as they most possibly can, because Australia, while they made it through the group stage, after only getting battered that one time versus France, it is really going to kind of come down to whether or not they can make it as difficult as possible. To I don't know.
Denmark bottled it, man. With the amount of talent that Denmark has. Not just starting, but on the bench too. The semifinalists of the Euro 2020 bottled it, in my opinion.
You want to talk bottling, though? I mean, before we get into all these predictions, there were quite a few bottlements or whatever you want to call it. But Denmark, right on up there. They never looked like the Denmark of Euro 2020. But yesterday, dude. Yesterday, we got a couple bottlers, okay? And none more namely, in my opinion, than Serbia. Okay? True. I get it. They scored goals. I get it. They made it interesting. And I also get it that first day loss to Brazil really put them in a hole. But, this is the team that was a shark during qualifying, and they turned it into an absolute minnow.
True.
In this group.
True.
To finish bottom of the group.
True.
Bottom of the group.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a bit shocking. And
Cameroon, Cameroon they did win. They beat Brazil, which made that happen. That was surprising to me. But I don't think Serbia. I think Serbia, for many people, there were dark horses. But the Serbian national team and the Swiss team, I think they're level though. I think they're level. And what's shocking to me is the first game in this World Cup that Mitrovic played next to Vlahovic. It was the first game, and that would be where I would criticize more, man. But good morning, Netherlands.
Oh boy, we got a lot of Dutch. Come on, are there any Americans on here? Speak up, people. Let's go. Good morning, though. Good morning. And good luck to you. That's what I gotta say.
Going back to Argentina, I just like to say with Enzo. Enzo Fernandez, I can tell you right now, the Real Madrid interest for Enzo Fernandez is very, very real. And I see Benfica games. Florentina and Enzo, is already cheat code. Tchouaméni and Enzo would be double pivot next level attack force. So I really think that'd be the best destination for him. Real Madrid.
Okay. Yeah, Enzo. Well, it's the funny thing is I've been seeing, at least over in the States, and it must be kind of like a clickbait type of thing, a lot of Enzo to Barcelona talk. And of course, fine. I get there's probably always a counter. If there's an Enzo to Real Madrid that takes wins, there's probably an Enzo to Barcelona transfer rumor out there as well at the same exact time, because you never know. But come on, I mean, the whole world would be stupid if they weren't coming in for him as hot as they most possibly could. And if I'm PSG, I'm also figuring what I can do to pip him away, unless of course they're resigned to lose Messi, which is what it may seemingly be.
I think at the end of this season, no Lionel Messi at PSG anymore, and maybe Neymar. Let's see what's gonna happen with that, because Mbappe will want his team and PSG next season. But Argentina, so semi-finalist, Breton.
Argentina? Yeah, I'm going to have Argentina as a semi-finalist. Yes, I don't think there's... realism does take over here. I mean, come on. It's, I like the Netherlands 4 years from now. I love the USA 4 years from now. Argentina's time is now, and frankly, if they don't wind up in the semifinals, I think Messi's going to go out not the way he wants to. But then in that next one, I mean, this is where things get. I don't think it gets too interesting. I think we're looking at an Australia-Brazil semi. Is that what you're going with here?
Australia-Brazil, Argentina-Brazil.
I'm sorry. I told you it's early here.
No,
Obviously I meant Argentina. But first we got Japan, Croatia.
Exactly.
Do you see any possibility? I know Japan is the first seed here. But obviously with Croatia being the finalists in the last World Cup, you got to look at them as probably the favorites. But when it comes down to it, I mean, do you see Japan going by Croatia here?
I think it's 50-50 this match. I understand Modric goes for Croatia, but let's be honest. If it wasn't for Gvardiol, Croatia wouldn't be in the situation that they are. So I don't think this Croatian national team is the strongest they've been in the past 4 years. And Japan, though, I could say this is their strongest team in the past 4 years. Kamada, Minamino on the bench. Like, what?
I know.
So, I'm not going to... I think it's 50-50. But the semifinalists after, I think Brazil. I think Brazil, of all the big national teams in the World Cup knockout stages, they have the easiest way to the final. And no, to the semifinal, because then they have to face Argentina. So,
right.
South Korea, man. But, like, I know they beat us, blah, blah, blah. But it's like if that match, man, you know, I'm gonna justify it. Like, it's like the Serbia match. We were complacent. We were not putting high pressure. We let them do their game. We had William and Pelinha playing together in the final stages, and then comes the corner. Heung-min Son turns on the Jets. William and Pelinha not gonna catch up as fast as they should. So I think
Hwang Hee-chan, baby. Hwang Hee-chan.
It's you go one step back to go 2 steps forwards. I think this loss for Portugal, we ended up in first place. Portugal ended up in first place for the first time since 2006. And the other point I gotta say is no team in this World Cup got 9 points. No team. So everybody committed mistakes. And we committed mistakes in corners, in set pieces at the end of the match. So, but I think it's worrisome. But we got to be ready.
All right.
Got high pressure, attack, go for the next to Switzerland, man. Go for it.
And
that's what we
and there's the realism creeping in there, because at the end, I'm almost happy to hear you say that it is concerning, and hopefully that everybody within the camp sees it as concerning, you know, within the Portuguese camp sees it as concerning, because, you know, those things can't change. You can't approach Switzerland the same way you approach South Korea. I think they will? Absolutely not. But when it comes down to it, I mean, I'm going to say it. Like, watching it from a guy that's not as close to the Portuguese national team as, say, you are, from a person that's watching it outside, I'm a little worried about misfiring Cristiano Ronaldo.
That's media. That's media, Breton. You know why? The real story is Cho, the guy that went from 30K followers to like 1.5, took the liberty to learn Portuguese curse words. And he was saying Portuguese curse words to him. Like, I give respect. Dude. Okay, the guy learned Portuguese to insult Ronaldo. That's the real story. Sure. And then he got...
That's gamesmanship. That's straight Duolingo gamesmanship.
That's what happened, man. And, like, Fernandez was, like, a big corner. I understand. And two, like, I said this, like, the focus of if it was a goal or not, like, Ronaldo was crucial for it to be a goal against Uruguay. So people should just focus on, like, Bruno Fernandes in that game, like, getting 2 goals, 2 assists. Now's the time. In my opinion.
Yeah, the issue is Ronaldo does seem to make everything about himself. At least these days, it is turned into that. Well, I mean, if you don't want the focus to be on whether or not a strand of hair touched the ball, then ultimately he should have dropped it and should have just moved on.
He did.
Okay. So the media is who's pushing that narrative that he dropped it.
I really believe
even though coming out of the Portuguese camp, there was the talk that they were going to actually go out and submit, a challenge and all that good stuff.
It's just talk. And what I heard from Ronaldo's voice before the World
Cup, he followed it up with that South Korea performance. So I think you are right. But here's what I'm trying to bring this back to, Alex. Here's what I'm trying to bring this back to.
Mm-hmm.
You guys need to win this without Cristiano Ronaldo.
No, we're gonna win it with Cristiano Ronaldo. We had 6 changes, Brett.
You might win it in spite of Cristiano Ronaldo.
Well, Yeah, Ronaldo is crucial for us to win the World Cup. If we don't have
I
Ronaldo,
don't
we
think
won't
he
win
is.
it. We in crucial moments, Ronaldo turns up, and against South Korea, this is what I will criticize in the South Korea game. Ronaldo didn't play well. That is true. But Ronaldo, for me, in that game should play 45 minutes to get in game condition, okay? Because he didn't play all season with Man United. So I don't agree with people that say he shouldn't have played that game. But what I do agree with people is to criticize that Rafael Leão, okay, there were 6 changes in this Portuguese national team, and Rafael Leão, that still didn't even get a start for Portugal, didn't get one in this game. Palhinha, too, didn't start. Those are the 2 real criticisms I'll do for them not to start those games. Fernandez, I don't understand that. But the big positive is Diogo Dalot. Diogo Dalot... Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, but can you get to the World Cup semifinals without Cristiano Ronaldo scoring a goal?
We can, but like I hope he does score goals because that would make it much easier, man. So I can't go against Ronaldo, man. I really
no, you don't need to go against him, but he does not look like the Cristiano Ronaldo. I think you guys need to win this thing, and at some point you have to start planning for that instead of working around it.
But Ronaldo wasn't even the best player for Portugal in the group stages. It's Bruno Fernandes. So it's like, for me, if Ronaldo just keeps on the good level, like he wasn't playing bad with Uruguay. The poor game in this World Cup for me is the South Korea game for Cristiano Ronaldo. Right. And it's one step back to go 2 steps forward. And against Switzerland, I really believe he'll be prepared. Like, let's imagine if Ronaldo had missed 2 pens in the group stages. You'd be voicing out that he's so out of form. He's not the same. He's not this, that, and the other thing. And Messi, man. Like, Messi did turn up. And Ronaldo had to turn up too, in my opinion, too. So, against South Korea, but and we
Messi has a run of play goal. So, you know, there's that, too.
Let's see. Ronaldo got one, but... VAR.
No.
You got VAR, man. Yeah. But I get you, though. I get you.
I'm with you. I was looking at it and I was just kind of saying, like, wow, you know me. Like, we've said this. I disagree that you can't go far without Cristiano Ronaldo. I actually disagree. I think you guys could go far. I'm not saying that because Ronaldo's not good, you guys don't get to the semifinals. I'm literally saying, maybe you embrace that, and I know it's really hard to because how long has Cristiano Ronaldo been the guy, right? How long has he been the guy for Portugal? I don't think you need the guy any longer. I honestly believe a Portugal without Cristiano Ronaldo can stand on its own 2 feet and go far in this tournament. That's all I'm trying to say.
Can we win the World Cup?
Can you win it? No, I don't think you can win it.
I think we can.
And you're right.
I think
you're
we
right.
can.
You're right there.
I have to think we can. A world-class finisher like him, man.
Yeah, you're right there. You're right there in the sense that, yes, if Cristiano Ronaldo goes ridiculous in these next 3-4 games and scores 5 goals in the next 3-4 games, there's your X factor right there that maybe puts you over the top. But it's got to get you by either a France or an England before you get to the final and then face either potentially Argentina or Brazil.
I really believe Portugal can beat England and France. I really believe in our chances with both teams because the team of 2016 is very different in France and in the Portugal camp. Like Bruno Fernandes, João Felix, Rafael Leão on the bench. Best player in Serie A. We have the luxury to have him on the bench. So I think it's different times right now. And England, I think they have their own demons. Let's see if they can fix and have Phil Foden starting. If England are going to go far in this World Cup, Saka starts, Jude Bellingham starts, Phil Foden starts. They must trust the youth and creativity in the youth because these are the players that can make a difference, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, but then again, England hasn't exactly been tested just yet. I mean, the game against the USA was kind of a bend but don't break type of situation. They never broke. So this really, really tough Senegalese team without Sadio Mane, man, wouldn't it have been so nice? Wouldn't it have been so nice to have a Sadio Mane led Senegal team facing England before England or Senegal faces France? But we're not going to get that. And now it's going to be, Ismail Assar. It's going to be Koulibaly. And whether or not he can continue to have a great World Cup, which he has so far for Senegal. So do you think, okay, so we have Japan potentially beating Croatia. We think Brazil's going to meet Argentina in the semifinals, understandably so. Let's go to the next round of the bracket. I know we skipped and talked about Portugal a little bit, but England, Senegal, do you think there's any prospect for upset there?
No, I really think England are gonna win it. Okay, but I want to give praise to African teams, man. We got 2 African teams matching the same number of South American teams. We got 2 Asian teams too in the knockout stages, matching the number of, as I said, South American teams. So I really think football is becoming more and more global. And South Korea, Japan, Morocco, and Senegal, big up on these countries because they're changing the focus of football. It's becoming worldwide. I really want to see. And the U.S., man. You guys are still the nation of the Concacaf. Not Mexico.
The lone ones out there. Oh, my goodness. Mexico is due for a reckoning. Costa Rica has to send pretty much all of their players to the retirement home. And Canada, I mean, we didn't get to talk much about it. And my failure at understanding what Canada could do in this World Cup, because you might recall, and I hate to bring this up by myself, but I did have Canada getting out of my group. And listen, they had the ability during qualifying to really harness lightning in a bottle. And that lightning in a bottle was Alphonso Davies. It was Jonathan David. It was Tajon Buchanan. They have some phenomenal pieces, but man, do they need more pieces in order to make it sustainable, because Alphonso Davies can't go in and win you a game by himself just yet.
Facts. And they criticize him for that. I saw media of Canada being very critical on Alphonso Davies, and I'm thinking there to myself, they have no idea of what they have in their hands. They have no idea of how good of a player Alphonso Davies is compared to every other player. Not Jonathan David, maybe, but every other player, not Jonathan David, in that roster. Levels ahead. It must be captain and the leader, man. No and
while CONCACAF definitely took a beating in this particular tournament so far, I think this is kind of a rise from the ashes type of situation. From 4 years from now, I think we're going to see some strong CONCACAF sides that really do take pride in obviously hosting the world's biggest tournament on their continent.
The biggest upsets of this World Cup has got to be, I'm going to put Uruguay there, Belgium there, Germany there. Serbia was an upset for us because we believed in their talent with Mitrovic, Tadic, Vlahovic, and maybe Canada. Like, it was expected more by the Canadian people too. So these can be considered the upsets of the World Cup, no?
And let's pause just quickly because Uruguay is probably at that top of the list, one of the top of the list there, man. I know. I honestly, and then obviously for them, and I get it, emotions dictate the situation. You feel like you should have a certain call in the moment, blah blah blah. You never touch the refs. You never touch the refs.
But that's Uruguay for
you never.
That's Uruguay.
But that's Uruguay for you. We can't dismiss that crap. That is just utter. That makes literally that probably turns. Not that Uruguay, people from Uruguay necessarily care about this, but if you were looking for any bit of sympathy from the world's community, if you were looking for anyone that wanted to, get behind Fede Valverde, get behind De Arrascaeta, who had a phenomenal game, to get by the guys that actually did something for that team. Suarez, too, on the day was actually very vital versus Ghana. But I just think they were never going far with Diego Alonso. They're never going far with Diego Alonso. I watched him with Inter Miami. He went literally. He looked like a guy lost, and that was in Major League Soccer. If he's lost in Major League Soccer, he's not going to do it for your national team.
Facts.
It's just not going to work.
Facts.
Sorry.
Facts. No, Uruguay is definitely. I expected more. Uruguay is a team though led by passion, emotion, and that's how they play their game. And afterwards, It's like the consequence of how they play. They're just so in the game that they're like, and they know the refs have a big hand in the game. So let's be honest. The refs or in an orchestra, they're the ones putting the ping, 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 putting the tempo on the game. Because the tempo of the game is extremely important. I don't know how to say
it. It is. I don't know, but I like that noise. It's not a noise I normally hear over here. Ping, 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 ping. Hey, I just, it kind of comes down to this, like, Uruguay, I get it. Back in the 30s, you guys won a couple World Cups, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's resting their laurels on that. But you've been passionate. You've been kind of strong-headed, strong-minded, strong-willed for a long period of time, and it hasn't necessarily worked out for you.
It's true.
Over the past 20 years or so. Okay? So maybe it's time with the new era, once Suarez is out, once Cavani's out, once Godin is out, once some of these other guys are out, maybe Jose Maria Jimenez, I know he's young, he needs to go. He's a hothead. But ultimately, like, maybe it's time to try something different instead of beating your head against the wall.
I rate for you. Like, the players I rate for Uruguay, Matias Oliveira, Jimenez, I rate Bentancur, Ugarte, Darwin Nunes, and Arrascaeta. And I think these players will be involved for Uruguay for years to come. Facundo Pelestri, just move, man. I'm not going to back a player that doesn't play for the team that got him. Okay, so it's like, sort it out.
They had better players on the bench. Like, Facundo Torres could do what Pelistri does. Facundo Torres is a better player than Facundo Pelistri. Okay? And he absolutely is. 100% is. And if there are Uruguayan fans in here that want to actually, back Pelistri up, who literally has no club ball, no experience whatsoever, but Diego Alonso kept bringing him up and kept giving him, I get it, there were some bright moments, but you don't get as well-rounded as a player. Pelistri, it's one-dimensional, man.
Facts.
It is one-dimensional. And I'm going to say it right now. Darwin Nunes has got to be one of the bigger flops of the whole entire tournament.
Lukaku much more ahead.
Yeah.
Much more ahead for me. Like, Lukaku.
Yeah, well, Lukaku. I'm with you. But Lukaku was also possibly the second best Croatian defender next to Josko Gvardiol. So,
man, 4 missed chances. That was so upsetting.
Terrible.
But going to the other side of the bracket, so we were mentioning Morocco, Spain.
Yeah.
What do you think's gonna happen there? Because for me, Morocco is a very, very hard team to beat. Only 1 goal suffered still in the World Cup, and Hakim Ziyech looks inspired, a magician. I wouldn't be surprised if they upset and beat Spain, and then they go against us, Portugal. I wouldn't be surprised.
Wow.
I'd love to see that.
I'm here for it right now, but that defense has been, one of the biggest surprises of the tournament. And probably there are some Moroccan fans that are going to say, surprise? I don't think so. We knew about it. We knew about it. They've been getting good. Mazraoui, Hakimi on the right and on the left. They've been more defensively sound than I've seen them with their club teams, which is, probably part and parcel of how PSG plays and part and parcel of how Bayern plays. But still, the beating heart of Morocco has been that defensive mid, Amrabat, and then those 2 center backs, Saiss and Aguerd. And their goalkeeper is really pretty good. So I'm with you. I think if there is, on paper, an upset, I know Morocco won and Spain was second, but if there is an upset on paper, I think it's here because you got to remember you've got Pedri, who has been doing Pedri things, and Gavi has been doing Gavi things. They are now 3 games in, and this is going to be the fourth kind of big test for them, and it's whether or not they're 19 and 18-year-old, or what are they, 20 and 19 now? 19 and 18.
Not 19 and 18, you're right.
Okay, yeah. It's whether or not that they can actually, once again, shoulder the burden that is the Spanish national team. Morata's got 3 and 3. I don't know. I think it's even. I think
this is I think it's a tough match to predict. And anyone saying Morocco has no chance, just watch the games that Morocco plays, man. Morocco, I really believe they can surprise Spain, but not us. I think we will be very ready for Morocco, regardless of if they beat Spain or if it's Spain. Like, I would rather play against Morocco, obviously, because if it's Spain, Spain is just gonna be very tense. It's a very tense matchup, Portugal-Spain. We got history, both teams. And we've learned, like, we lost to them in the Nations League. Gavi masterclass. So hopefully we'll see a Bruno Fernandes, Vitinha, maybe Palhinha playing that game. And Rafael Leão, masterclass against them. I have to believe in our chances, man. So I hopefully we just beat Switzerland 3-4-0. And we go from there.
Okay.
I gotta believe it.
And it is pretty amazing to think though that like the Spanish national team, after that first day, after that 7-0 drubbing of Costa Rica, everyone was all basically saying like, "Oh my gosh, Spain could be that dark horse. There's that dark horse we need." And since then, outscored two goals to 3. 1 loss, 1 draw, and obviously a little bit of the sheen has worn off. If you can find a way to contain Pedri and Gavi, and it doesn't seem so ridiculous that somebody can do that in this environment. It's just you almost have to pour one out for Germany in this instance because Germany only beat Costa Rica 4-2, but if it was Germany winning 7-0 that first day. Same exact record. Same exact record. They only had the goal differential was 6-1, and Germany, believe it or not, is second in expected goals in this whole tournament.
Jamal Musiala. That's the reason why.
That is definitely the reason why. He's up there with key passes. He's up there with big chances created, and he's up there at the top of dribbles won, which we would hope in turn leads to more, shots or more leads to more goals. But when it comes down to it, Germany is one of those teams that you're looking at the beginning stages of how a rebuild is definitely going to win them a major trophy in the next 4 to 8 years.
Hopefully,
next 4 to 8 years.
They have to fix the defenders, man. Nicolas Schüller, I agree with Rafael van der Vaart, man. He is the Harry Maguire of Germany, in my opinion, too, man. That makes total sense. Yeah, it's like the way they play, man. Like, and Bayern didn't want him. Dortmund took the mistake, and now they're in hands. Like Schlotterbeck mustn't be happy, but the players for Germany that in the next 4 to 8 years, I do expect them to be involved. Is obviously Jamal Musiala. I expect him to be the star of Germany. I expect to see Florian Wirtz there. I expect Karim Adeyemi, Youssoufa Moukoko. I expect Schlotterbeck. I think there's given moments that he showed brilliance, and David Raum. I think these are the players of that team that I fully expect to see them in the 4 and 8 years. And Kimmich, being an old vet leader, he'll be there always too. So those are the the players.
I'm with you, but as of right now, it looks like Nicolas Süle joining Dortmund has made Nico Schlotterbeck kind of take a step back developmentally.
Facts.
Because he has been making very similar mistakes that Süle's been making.
Facts.
And we've seen it with Dortmund because I've said it because I thought on paper them working together at Dortmund was going to make that German kind of center back partnership. But man, some of the mistakes they made, some of those mistakes that they made club level have trickled into the national team level, 1. And 2, on top of that, there's been collateral damage. You ready for this? They have made Manuel Neuer look like a normal goalkeeper.
Facts. That is
He has not looked good all tournament.
And Rudiger, a bad defender next to them. That's what they've made. That's what they made. Like, Schüller and Schlotterbeck managed to make Kimmich look a bad player, Rudiger look like a bad player, and Jamal Musiala being mad frustrated that he's not in the next stage of the knockout stages. And then he's outperforming Gavi and Pedri when he plays against them. So it must be frustrating for Jamal Musiala. Maybe he should have picked England. Maybe he should have picked England. I can already see.
But come on, the story can be written right now because in 2 years, Germany will roll out the red carpet for the rest of Europe. Because the European Championships will be on their soil. So what a better time to showcase the youth and get it done. Build around Musiala, build around Kimmich as the old head, and bring in. I want to see Armel Bella Kotchip get more time and kick Sula out. I think it's time for new blood. And whether or not it's Hansi Flick, or I don't know, Thomas Tuchel, I don't know who's it gonna be.
I think Thomas Tuchel would be a very good manager for this German national team.
Yeah.
And I'm actually surprised that we're not seeing a lot of news around that. Another manager, I believe, that after he leaves this club, he'll manage the national team is Jurgen Klopp. I think Jurgen Klopp will manage the Mannschaft at a young age. He won't be as old as Fernand Sanch managing Germany, in my opinion. And I do expect to see an early retirement, too. I think he's a very outgoing person that's very worried about his family. It's phenomenal. I think he's a great person, Klopp, and I think he wants to represent Germany soon.
Okay.
Guardiola, I don't know, because he's got that Catalunya with Barcelona. They got beef with Spain. So I don't know Guardiola's Spain, but Klopp Germany, I think it's really gonna happen. And Mourinho Portugal. I've been told insiders that Mourinho wants to manage Portugal. I can say that already.
Yeah, man. If only to be a fly on the wall in these interview rooms post the World Cup. Man, oh man, would that be wonderful to have Klopp come in and lay out his thought process for the identity of Germany. To see Thomas Tuchel come in and lay out his thought process on how Germany should move forward. I would love to see it, and I wonder whether or not. I mean, there hasn't yet been talk that Hansi Flick is just automatically gone.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's
German
it's
efficiency.
fair to assume it.
It's German efficiency. Yeah. They fix what's the problem, and we think Hansi Flick is a part of the problem. So Tuchel, we won't be surprised if Tuchel is the big name, and if Klopp is available, if he's available, because I don't think he wants to leave Liverpool, then we can see something happening with that too. So your semifinal prediction, so we get it right. So
yes.
Brazil, Argentina on one side, definitely is yours.
Brazil, Argentina on one side is definitely
and
mine.
Second
that is
chance,
correct.
Brazil, US. Second chance, Brazil, US.
No. Although back in 1994, we did play them to a very narrow draw. I believe it was a Bebeto goal potentially. I forget what it was, but we lost 1-0 to Brazil in 94. And man, oh man, it'd be fun to see them again. No, but USA, come on, USA, Argentina. If that were to happen in the quarterfinals,
That's mesmerizing, man. That's already.
It'd be an amazing opportunity.
It'd be an amazing opportunity. That's a dub, man. Yeah. The youngest team in the World Cup getting that experience too, man. Huge dub. Play Gio in that game at least. Come on, get that experience, Gio.
His dad, Claudio Reyna, is actually from Argentina. He's got Argentinian blood.
So I want that perfect game for him. Perfect game. But on the other side of the bracket, what are you going?
Other side.
Brazil, Argentina, and the other side?
I'm going to go. So I'm going to have England pass Senegal, France pass Poland. So it goes England, France, Portugal. I am going to say it. Portugal, Morocco.
Woo!
And then I'm going to go.
Love it.
I'm going to. Yeah, it's whether or not this new, and I am calling it a relatively new France team, can get by the It's Coming Home England
Southgate masterclass.
Bunch.
Southgate masterclass. Oh. Well, if they're gonna beat France, they're gonna beat with Phil Foden playing. Okay, let's just put it like that. We won't back England if they don't play Phil Foden. That's it.
I'm with you. I just think with the way Teo's playing, with that next step up, next man up mentality that we've seen, that I've mentioned multiple times, with all these injuries France has had, nobody's been crowing and saying, "Oh, woe was us." No, they've been getting the job done. So I'm going to say France does get by England. Portugal gets by Morocco, setting up France-Portugal, and that's when the fun happens.
And that's when Portugal wins.
I can't do it yet.
Masterclass do Cristiano Ronaldo, João Felix, Rafael off the bench. We will get something sorted, man. We have to. But Antonio Silva did play that game against South Korea too. I just want to give a shout out to Antonio Silva, becoming the youngest Portuguese player Antonio Silva becoming the youngest Portuguese player to ever play in the World Cup. Big shout out to him. The maturity he has, the level of a center back he is already. In today's game, he can play against PSG and not lose, okay? And like one-on-one lock to Mbappe. So 60 million minimal. I always say that because that is the price tag. Minimal. So, but my biggest shout out is Dalot, obviously. Dalot against South Korea said to Fernandez, man, you better not bench me again, okay? If Rafael Khair starts ahead of Cancelo at the left and Dalot at the right, something is very, very wrong in this Portuguese national team decision-making. Already having Palhinha and William at the same time, for me, at the end of the game with South Korea was a problem, but this is a mega issue. Mega issue, in my opinion. So, yeah, I have to be vocal on that. I have to be vocal on that. And yeah, my preferably, for us to, if we're going to win the World Cup, Redson, we got to go with the high pressure, not going around, just passing the ball. We need to show football that we want to change, okay? So, for me, I'd put Palhinha right now for the knockout stages. I'd put Palhinha, Vitinha, and Bruno Fernandes. That would be my midfield for the knockout stages. And then Bernardo Silva at the right, João Felix at the left, and Cristiano in front. And I'm sorry Rafael Leão didn't start against South Korea. And if he doesn't start that match, he definitely won't start the next ones. So it's just a sad situation on him. For that sense.
That just hurts. Because that is an X factor there. That is an X factor that he's literally neutralizing by not giving him that shot against South Korea. It makes no sense.
Makes no sense, man. Ricardo Horta did.
But then again,
so it's like,
yeah, and he got a goal, right?
He did, but like it was Diogo Dalot. Yeah. The whole Pep to Dalot. Dalot does the whole. That's the whole right side. That's the thing. Dalot is no doubt in my mind the best defensive fullback in the Portuguese national team. And I gotta say too, he's the best knowing when to go forwards and when to defend. Cancelo is very forward minded. Dalot, he's so smart IQ. His football IQ is above the rest, in my opinion. So yeah, I understand Ronaldo.
Well, I hear you have Portugal in the semifinals, which is possibly the least surprising thing to hear on this wonderful Saturday morning. Who's your other semifinalist?
So my semifinals are Brazil, Argentina, and my other semifinal is Portugal, France. But and the final I would like to see, personally, being a football fan, like just thinking about it makes me almost cry, would be the final of the last dance of Argentina against Portugal. I really believe both Ronaldo and Messi are doing everything for that to happen, because what an ending it would be for both legacies. Okay, I think both need it, both want it. So
they ride off into the sunset. Unfortunately, only one can win. Correct.
True,
so I guess it'll settle for the ages who the actual GOAT is. If it's an Argentina-Portugal final.
I really think that will. I really think that that game, if it happens, it will be the most watched game in the history of sports. Argentina-Portugal final in the World Cup. Messi and Ronaldo last dance. And if Argentina doesn't start Enzo, they're making our job very easy. Very easy. I gotta say that, because Messi can always miss a pen, but Cristiano Ronaldo no. Just wanted to say that. 2 pens missed. 2 pens missed in the group stages by Messi. The first time since when, Breton? 1960?
1966?
Like, imagine if Ronaldo had that stat, man. Like, the stats, he doesn't chase the stats. The stats chase him. And I think those stats are chasing Messi, so that's not the best sign.
Come on. Messi has more open play goals than Ronaldo does in the group stage. So, I hate to bring that up again. But I think, and here's what's best for all of us. I would like to see both Messi and both Ronaldo have wonderful last knockout rounds. And let's see whether or not we can get them to that final that they probably so justly will. Actually, you know what? They probably don't care. They just want to get to the final,
sorry.
and they want to win this damn thing.
Exactly.
They don't care who it's against.
Facts.
They don't care who it's against. They're not trying to write poetry here.
Facts.
They're trying to get the damn trophy and bring it home to their country. And this is good. And I did see a couple mentions here that Brazil's depth, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is there concern with that late goal against Vincent Abubakar, who, let's be honest, I would have also taken my shirt off, which nobody wants to see, and gotten a red card happily after scoring against Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
But are there causes for concern? Because everyone here, I think all the talk before the game was, oh my gosh, the starting 11 versus Cameroon, they could win the World Cup themselves. Look at the depth in Brazil. The depth ain't there.
Yeah, they didn't go to win. They didn't went in the game to win it. And people say, oh, but football players go in every game to win game. Man, sometimes in life, you need to get the dub or you're out. They knew they would get the win and they would be first place. They knew it, just like Portugal. So
Gabby Jesus is Alex Telles. Yeah.
True. Gabriel Jesus.
Yeah, Gabby Jesus is out.
Biggest flop for me in this World Cup, man. Gabriel Jesus. Just like Kevin De Bruyne with Pep Guardiola. I think Kevin De Bruyne without Pep Guardiola is still world class. But he wouldn't be as good as he is. Arteta can't play to Gabriel Jesus' strengths. That's the fact. And I understand the Brazil fans saying, put Pedro. Because, maybe Pedro would have scored a couple more.
Maybe.
Than Gabriel Jesus. So I had to say that. And my biggest thought with Brazil is how good will Neymar be back. If Neymar was fully fit, I would be saying right here that I could see a redemption for that Copa America final loss happen in the semifinal of the World Cup, because it's the last World Cup maybe for Neymar too, not just Messi. And Neymar in that game against Argentina, like in the final of the Copa America, that was one of the best matches I've seen him in the last 10 minutes, man. He was giving his heart out completely. So I would believe that in the same matchup, if he was fully fit, I would be backing more Brazil. So
the issue with Neymar is that Angel Di Maria had a better day.
That's true, and better day than even Messi, man. Di Maria was so it's, and Emiliano Martinez too. What a day he had against Brazil in that game, man. He was crucial. He was crucial.
They're gonna need him down the home stretch here too. So
I
don't know. I mean, there are cracks, and this is what happens in an international tournament, in a tournament that is kind of put dead in the middle of a season. These things are bound to happen, and depth will come into play. And who knows? While I think Neymar is going to be ready to go the next game, obviously, we don't know if Neymar is going to be playing at 85%,
exactly,
or 75%. And whether or not that even makes a difference, because let's be honest, you'd rather have Neymar at 85% on the field than no Neymar at all. But it does come down to it, like it's a war of attrition after a while. Like you can't be expected to just go out and the same person just scores 3 goals every day. Like that's not realistic in world football. So the supporting cast, and this plays into a Portugal narrative. This plays into France, who's already decimated by injuries, narrative. It plays into England's narrative, to be honest, because England has remained relatively scot-free when it comes to injuries. There are a lot of great... This is a really weird statement because it's so obvious, but there are a lot of great teams left in this tournament. And it's going to be a team that gets there, and likely not an individual.
I agree.
So I'm
Morocco.
really, really interested to see where this is going to go.
And and you described Morocco, man. They're a team, not individuals.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they go both. But just last question: who would you think will be the star of the knockout stages?
Oh my gosh, I would love to name an American on this, but let's see. Star of the. I
gotta go. Cristiano Ronaldo. What? It's now or no. It's now or never. He put himself in such a pressure situation with that interview with Piers Morgan. Cristiano Ronaldo, agora. Por favor, for all the Portuguese people listening, por favor, Ronaldo, bring it home to the real home. Okay, Portugal. Okay, so Almozita.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the coward's way out, and I'm gonna say Kylian Mbappe.
Nice choice though.
Kylian Mbappe.
Nice choice,
It feels the coward's way out, but man, this
Best
kid's
player
been
of the
there
World Cup.
before,
Yeah.
and he wasn't necessarily the guy back in 2018 because he had Antoine Griezmann, he had a bunch of guys that were really playing, like Paul Pogba playing just phenomenally well during that tournament, but like this time, this is Kylian Mbappe.
Fucked.
Now he's got Chouameni, he's got Theo, he's got Griezmann doing really well in supporting role. But man, oh man, if France are going to do the improbable, and it is the improbable to win a second consecutive World Cup, Kylian Mbappe's got to show up every game.
Let that happen, man. In the semi-final, Portugal, Cristiano Ronaldo. That would be embarrassing, man.
Yeah.
Please, man. That would be a madness, man. So, people, put down below your World Cup predictions. Do you agree with our bracket semifinals? Best player? Tell us down below your thoughts about this. Yeah, Bretson.
Yeah.
You were going to say.
I just got to ask you, what's your prediction in this U.S.-Netherlands game? What do you got score-wise?
I'll go. I think there's not going to be a lot of goals. I think it's going to be a very defensive match. But I will say 2-1 U.S. men's national team. I got to believe in you guys. I got to believe in you guys, man. Let's go with it.
That's all.
But if it's
that's all I need, man.
If it's a 2-1 Netherlands, I won't be surprised too. It's Cody Gakpo, though. We didn't mention in all this Cody Gakpo. Cody Gakpo is rumored to get a move nonstop because he's got 24 games, 13 goals, and 17 assists this season. Yeah. So understandably, Erik ten Hag surely wants to replace Ronaldo. I understand
He'd be stupid not to look to the future for that. But I hope Gakpo takes the day off. We'll see in a little bit. I love your 2-1 thing. I'm going to call it right now. I'll say 2-1 as well. And I'll say that there's probably a Dutch defensive own goal in there.
Ooh,
I'm going to get extra specific here.
Virgil van Dijk. But people, tell us down below, who is your star of the World Cup? Who's going to win the World Cup? Tell us your thoughts in the comment section. And again, if you're listening until now, please do not forget to like this video on YouTube and subscribe to FC Wonderkid on